guys, welcome to the channel. If this is your first time tuning in, we call this Idiotic Ramblings. Today's video is mail call video. Excuse me. So if you haven't seen this channel before, touch the tab up at the top and it will take you to examples of what this channel is all about. So we do mail call because people take the time to mail me letters and then send them to me. So just in case you guys don't know how to operate YouTube, there's always a description box. You touch that little arrow, drop down menu comes in. All the information that you need to know will be in that description box. Just like the intro song, everybody always asks, what's the name of that song? Well, the description to that song, anytime that intro is played, is in the description box. Just like the P.O. box is 8601, Chattanooga, Tennessee 37414. So if you guys want to mail me a cool letter, such as these people here have done, we can get you a shout out and a call out on YouTube. Sorry about that, I'm getting choked on something. So this, good Lord. This is from Matt. Hey Tim, knowing you love your poker chips, I am enclosing one from the Harley dealer in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Look, work smarter, not harder. And this is a picture of Matt's truck, and I think that way that's that's the truck he's got coming in November. Check that out. This is the current truck. He has a picture from Eisenhower Tower in Colorado. So, you know, I love that, guys. Yeah, send me pictures of your ride. This is a new ride coming up. This is the current ride. Check it out. So you guys send me the pictures. And he sent me a Harley Davidson poker chip from Bowling Green, Kentucky. And I guess you guys didn't know I ride Harley Davidsons, and that's a past of mine. So, and then a long-time subscriber, you've been watching for a long time, he sent me a little package. He sent me a little envelope here, and it had two poker chips. This one's from Detroit, Motor City, and this one's from Toledo, Ohio. So I get to add that to my shadow box collection. But what's funny is he sent me a new safety vest, because my old safety vest has Landstar on the back of it. It's a really nice safety vest, but it says Landstar. He felt I needed to get rid of the Landstar thing. And he sent me some paper towels that he likes to use in his trucks, in a box of brawny towels. So they work really good on the wheels. But Greg, I'm afraid that they might scratch my wheels on my feet, because my wheels are highly polished, and it doesn't take anything to polish them. So I want to get into the email segment also. Yes, guys send me emails. But what happens in my email box, it gets flooded. Which the email address I gave out to this guy, it's my email that I get everything. It just gets flooded and stuff gets lost. He sent me a really nice 3 or 4 page email. This guy, Ryan, in New Jersey. But I lost the email, so I said to him, send me a refresher. Well, he sent me a short refresher. He's from Ryan Farms, New Jersey. They gave me his phone number, his email address. And he knows I'm really busy. Would like to touch base with about leasing on a truck. He's been a company driver. Anyway, he goes into this spiel about his history and whatnot. So that was a really awesome email. And like I said, those get lost in my email box. So probably what I need to do is put an email address in the description box with one that will not be, that gets so lost, and I only have it for YouTube links. Maybe I can change one of my existing emails over to a Life is Good email or something. So anyway, so then I received this priority mail package from from Dane in West Valley City, Utah. This is it came with a little pack of butterscotch candies, and it's a really nice typed out email. I would love to read this to y'all. It's about 3 pages long. It's really cool, and he provided pictures of his background, his history, and he's also applying for a job with Gorley Trucking. Awesome read. It's a really nice read. It's 3 pages of really awesome information that only goes to get to the last paragraph of applying for a job. I think we'll read this to you. So if you're not interested, just go ahead and cut the video right now. But anyway, you guys listen. Send me an email to the P.O. Box 8601, Chattanooga, Tennessee. Leave the name blank, no name. Just put it to the P.O. Box. Because what happens if it's Life is Good or my name, it gets shipped back to you. I've had that happen a few times. So just leave the name off of it, just ship it to the P.O. Box, Chattanooga, Tennessee. And that, again, that's P.O. Box 8601, Chattanooga, Tennessee, 37414. I look forward to getting your mail. We might run a contest here in the near future about shipping me mail, and whoever ships the mail might get a $50 gift card mailed back to them during a random drawing. So now we're going to read the letter. It's a really awesome read. So I hope you stick around. So, hello Tim. Well, I wanted to begin this note to say I truly appreciate your videos and your overall friendliness on YouTube. I remember when YouTube was brand new, and I thought it odd that people would upload videos of themselves to the world, let alone that others would actually watch them. I was wronged, as millions of people enjoy learning about others and their way of life. You are a natural showman, LOL, and seem to find yourself at ease near a camera. I am a commercial driver as well, and have been since 1997. However, I am still wondering how you find the time to upload so many videos. It is quite challenging. I decided to write in hopes that we could become friends and that you would find me a viable partner for your operation. I've been a company driver for a long time, and with all the horror stories I've lived through and heard about in the owner-operator trucking arena, and up until a year ago or so, I never found the true desire to become an owner-operator. However, now that I am no longer running 48 states with my hair on fire with older equipment, as I did when I was younger, I have learned to appreciate some of the more beautiful attributes of trucking. Maybe being older has tricked me somehow. No, we just learned to slow down and relax. One is the freedom to travel. I've been working regionally for the last few years, and I miss the drive from Atlanta to Phoenix or Michigan to Oregon. It's a beautiful drive, that is. I am a private person, and although I can train and market and sell all of that, I prefer the quiet reflections during a long 10 states away, a long ride 10 states away. But you're no longer very private because we just put you all over YouTube. For two of the last 3 years, I've been driving, but also managing with 3 others with lots of warehouse action and rail trailers. As the ELDs came online, lots of companies are augmenting their loads by rail. And are doubling up loads onto trailers to increase rate per mile. And wow, is that a lot of fun? Not. Managing and dispatching 3 steering wheel holders is taxing. I once heard a quote from a famous manager for AutoNation. He said, "Remember, it is always easier to slow down 6 thoroughbreds than it is to get 12 donkeys to even move." I thought that was a pretty cool statement. Boy, was he right. Either the people you manage have the ambition or they don't, as you can only motivate them so far. I thought about possible adding on a few trucks down the road to make a business out of it. But the caliber of people who are so-called drivers are hit and miss, and mostly miss. To place a driver in a truck I purchased would probably break my heart, as pride of ownership is not possible to extend to a non-owning individual. In regard to the other end of the operation, I had a guy apply with me for a position last year, and he explained his operation had failed after 15 years of being in business. He had over 20 trucks, and his only blame was that the greedy companies didn't pay him on time, and the factoring companies ate him alive. Now, anybody that understands the basics of business must understand the importance of one thing: cash flow. Cash flow in business is more important than your mother. Eventually, he admitted that he was just too irresponsible with his finances. Now, I am not claiming that the machinations of the Federal Reserve didn't assist that process along. As I am sure by studying the past economy, you can see the effects of loose money injected into the system causes erratic explanations of people's operations when the economy is hot. But during monetary slowdown, we find out who saved and whom did not. The big corporations can survive those fluctuations, thereby gathering market share. Anywho, that's the nuts and bolts of that. But I will say what saddens me the most is the lack of responsibility by those who could help alleviate many of the problems in the industry, as they refuse to do so simply in the pursuits of profit. Example, CR England being a prime candidate to rectify a lot of the issues by their example, yet they refuse. When I first moved up to Utah from Nevada, I took any old job just to get a lay of the land, and I was utterly dumbfounded by the CRE trucking school in Salt Lake City. I was hired as a driver instructor for the CDL program, and let me tell you, I wasn't there very long. As I made a point to get out quick, CRE has 5 schools, and they call them across the U.S. These truck schools are nothing more than driver replacement centers to backfill the number of CRE drivers leaving after they experience trucking, CRE style. The attrition rate for CRE alone is 140+% of its driver workforce. CRE has over 2,500 tractors, and they con multitudes of drivers slash wannabes into signing leases to own these trucks after a few simple payments. I once had a very candid conversation with one of the head driver dispatchers in the building, and she explained this object was to give just enough work to cover the cost of the trucks, but to spread overall loads to the remainder of the fleet, irrespective of the drivers or lease needs for loads that would place them in the green for the month. The purpose was to cover the truck payment and expenses so England could finance more trucks. And of course, many of these lessees become disheartened and eventually turn their trucks back in and moved on, which is exactly what CRE wanted. Just out of the Salt Lake City, CRE was running over 150 plus students through the trucking school every week. On Sunday, they arrived by Greyhound, mostly from poor, desperate areas, Georgia and Alabama, for the free school. And by Thursday, after the students had practically been given all the correct answers to take the CDL permit test at the DMV, they had their CDL-A permits. Then they immediately got 2 days of backing in a huge parking lot, and on Monday, 5 guys were jammed into a truck with a local trainer, himself or 15 other trainers, and proceeded to learn to drive by shifting, cornering, accent, descent, and highway time. Friday they took a test with CRE examiners, and Sunday they were placed into the hundreds of waning CRE trucks with over-the-road trainers for the next 4 weeks. The over-the-road trainers, on average, had been driving trucks for about 3 to 5 months each. Needless to say, the number of accidents with England are off the charts crazy. Every Monday we would receive copies of the company's safety percentages for the prior week, and I kid you not, the damages each week are in the millions. England is self-insured, and a high percentage of the accidents are, of course, in parking lots and loading docks. And the remainder that apply to public roads are covered by high-powered attorneys and a very favorable committee of state controllers. As CRE is Utah's largest employer, company safety score be damned. One Monday, we saw the results of a previous student involved in a death accident. The old road trainer gave the driver's seat to a newbie at 2 a.m. in Nebraska, went to bed, and the student driver fell asleep with the cruise control set at 63 miles per hour. The truck ran directly up into a rest area and hit a fully loaded trailer, thereby completely ripping the entire cab and sleeper off the chassis. Everybody died. That was it for me. I no longer could be a part of the school. To be frank, the school literally forced every trainer to pass the students, or we were forced to retain them until they could pass. Very few were allowed to fail. As you understand, too many truck seats need to be filled. The industry is not geared for safety or even efficiency, just big corp profits. Saying all that, trucking seems to grow on you. After a while, you begin to appreciate the call of responsibility of it all, and the feeling of achievement when the BOLs are signed off on and the calling of another load to who knows where. Oh, or the serenity of a hot cup of coffee in the early morning as you begin your pre-trip and plot out the course of the day's driving. I like being professional at the moments when it all counts. Like when you know the shipper needs the load and is counting on you for a 7 a.m. arrival, yet you're in a snowstorm 200 miles away at 3 in the morning. To be honest, when I was a newbie in '97 and forced to run ungodly amount of miles, it's in smelly, unsafe, slow, outdated equipment for companies that paid you peanuts, I hated the entire industry with a passion for many, many years. Additionally, I had domestic issues, hot-headed women and a child, excessive bills, and all the other things that constantly irritated me while I was rolling down the interstates back in the day. We've all been there, brother. Well, slowly I had finally learned to filter out the bad influences and other troubling situations that had caused me so much stress back then. It took me a long time, because when you're a newbie in trucking, you have dreams of grandeur, and the mindset is just go, 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 make the donuts. I cannot tell you all the times I wanted to quit trucking back in the late 90s or early 2000s. I was running all East Coast as I lived in Virginia then, driving poor equipment and hadn't got a handle on the swing of the industry, especially concerning the cheating companies on pay miles and other things of the nature. It didn't matter when I tried flatbed, reefer, container. Everybody had an angle to stick it to you, and they had to had no remorse in doing so. It's truly sad how little people wish to contribute in our society, with the exception of what directly benefits them at any given moment. I wasn't raised that way, and I still find myself being kinder to people than I feel they deserve. But I learned to watch my back too. Al Capone had a saying that I once read: just because I'm kind doesn't mean I'm weak. And if you cross me, my kindness is not how you're going to remember me. But over a long time, I learned the ups and downs of the shipping cycles, the interstates, speed traps, bad shippers / receivers. With trucks, which trucks is not to not drive, as a junky truck will wear you out. Not to mention all the bad habits you have to unteach yourself, like endless sleep loss and running double logbooks, constantly eating greasy meals, irresponsible dispatchers, shady brokers, greedy drivers, parking violations, and etc. As I said, it took me a while to learn to juggle the expectations, the games, the failures, and all. But now that I'm into my 21st year, for at least the last 2 years, I've been seriously considering buying a real truck, KW or Pete, with a nice trailer. I really like yours. And simply run miles, cruise, and deliver. The difference now being better pay, better equipment, and experience, and no nagging wife or child responsibilities any longer. Winter's bills or even a grouchy cat cause me any headache. But I do like cats. I simplified my life to a point. That point being what is important to stability and efficiency. Ignore the rest and refuse to associate with the less than honest. How I wish someone somewhere would have explained the importance of choosing wisely in regard to how you apply your time into personal relationships. Very few people are neutral when it comes to how they affect your life. If they are positive, if they are productive, positive, or watch out, a very draining negative. So I choose carefully, and I think it's important whom associates with, as overall it affects the sum of whether you are a solid path or one or love less than substantiability. I have grown to admire the decisions you make and are making within the industry, and I wanted to reach out to you. I've been watching your videos and seem to find that we are of very similar nature in regard to the industry. And I find you appreciate many of the aspects of trucking that I do. You are very professional in a sea of sharks, tunas, whales, shrimp, and goldfish. I too could just pull up a chair with a nice beverage and simply enjoy the quiet, rewarding beauty of a clean, polished truck after days of running. I also appreciate your humbleness, as you were very pleased with your beautiful ride after your polished vlog. However, you didn't brag as to the cost, and you and I know that was quite an expense. You also seem quite quick at learning the curve of new things, such as negotiating rates and the crazy load boards, which I have to learn. However, I am a pretty good communicator. Your videos have been inspiring as to how to do it right. I like how you were debating your load choices based on trucks in the area versus loads available, thereby using marketing leverage to negotiate with, and the consideration of what the 15-day averages were and are when working with a broker. I think that alone tells the broker that you are serious contenders. The numbers are what count, but the hurdle's the problem. I had a truck for a very short term, my own, through a so-called lease purchase back in 2008. But unfortunately, the whole deal collapsed before we started making money. I will include some pics for you, as back then I was running brand new Porsches and Ferraris and enclosed specialized auto trailers all over the country. Oh, did I like that job. Even in 2008, they were paying $2.58 to the truck per mile. Valerie and I were both on course after expenses to making $100,000 each with that gig. However, Valerie was utterly exhausted after running doubles for FedEx Ground during the previous year. Tim, I would be very candid when I say that during the year 2007, there was not an over-the-road team in America that ran harder, longer, or stronger than we did with FedEx, as it was not physically possible. We can imagine that was quite the strain on both you and your relationship. Initially, we were so happy to sign on with a large professional company like FedEx. We thought we had hit the lottery. Boy, were we wrong. FedEx could care less if you lived, died, or even survived their brutal BS. We literally ran the truck and ourselves into oblivion that year. It's no wonder they refused to allow the contractors to unionize in any way, shape, or form. Unfortunately, after moving on from FedEx, no matter how hard I tried to explain to Valerie that running exotic cars and all the money that came with it, she was burned out and far too depressed to stay with it. I worked on paper, however, in as little as 5 years of delivering those cars, we could quit trucking and open a Subway sandwich franchise or something. Yet she was done. FedEx, the runs, the games, the tricks, the guerrilla math, accounting they used was more than enough to run her out of trucking for good. Heck, even I was depressed. I went back to driving tour buses and conducting Grand Canyon tours out of Vegas for a few years too. When people say trucking can be nothing more than a sweatshop on wheels, you better believe it. Well, after 1.5 million miles, it seems that I truly miss watching the world through a windshield at 70 miles an hour and sleeping in a different state every night. I know all this sounds weird, but I am not writing this to someone whom I believe doesn't understand, as I'm sure you feel as I do. In consideration of your move from Landstar to your own authority, I understand that whomever you begin partnering with will have to be someone that you can relate to, agree mostly with, and has an appreciation of what it takes to achieve that level of professional operation. We both know how easy it is to be involved in an accident or lawsuit or paperwork error that costs money, or a shipper receiver misunderstanding, and on it goes. Trucking is not a game. It is a serious, wholly important and expensive logistical system that has thousands of moving parts. From DOT checkpoints to blowouts, overheated obstacles that can peel your trailer back like a tin can, or hours and hours of downtime from lack of maintenance or an inconvenient tire blowout. Trucking teaches you to be patient, to be a patient person in most regards and firmly efficient in other regards. If not, it spits you out of the trucking industry quick. As an example, being delivery at Walmart. Anyway, this goes on and on. The battery's fixing to die. But we're about finished up there. But it gets into all that just to get into asking me for to lease on. But anyway, so we are almost ready to start leasing people on. I got to work on lease agreements, standard operating procedures, disciplinary policies, working on insurance, and but we're almost there. We're gonna add a driver as we can cash flow, and we can currently cash flow a driver at the moment because we do not factor. We cash flow our business, and so we are at the point we can cash flow a driver, and so it will be happening. It could just 2 or 3 months down the road, hopefully. Anyway, you guys have a good day. Thanks for watching. I appreciate y'all sticking through this mail call video. It was a little bit long, but that was a really awesome read. I thought I should share it with you guys. Thought you might enjoy it. So thanks for watching, and tune in next time for more idiotic ramblings. Y'all have a good day. We are out. Thanks for watching.
I'm Tom Thumb from Pittstown, New Jersey. When I'm not working in the garden, I'm checking out idiotic ramblings on Life is Good. Come on.